Hello and welcome back to the Becky Knits podcast. I am Becky and you can find me on Ravelry as Becky Mundy and then anywhere else as at Becky Knits. If this is the first time you have joined me, then thank you very much for clicking on my video, and if you are a returning viewer, then thank you for coming back. It's been a little while since our last podcast. I feel like I said that every time. I have actually recorded this podcast 3 times already, but I had difficulty getting it off my phone, and then I started recording it while we were away on the laptop and it was just not working, so I thought I'll just do it when we get home at the first opportunity, which is today, Monday. Usually I would be out at a baby group, but my husband has taken the boys today because I have hurt my foot, so I can't drive. So my husband's taken them, and I thought, perfect opportunity to sit down and talk about all of the knitting things I have to talk about, because there is a lot. There's a lot. So last time we spoke, I was knitting on a jumper for Aiden. I have finished that. I think I finished it a couple of days after we spoke, actually. And unfortunately, it didn't fit him. It was too small. I can't remember what I said about it. I didn't get gauge when I was getting ready to start, but I thought that if I just knit the next size up, that it would be fine. He fit into the 2 to 4 size of the Flax Light pattern by Tin Can Knits. He fit into the 2 to 4 size based on his chest measurement, but I thought I want him to get a bit more wear out of it. So I was gonna make the 4 to 6 size anyway. And then I thought, well, if I'm not getting gauge, that's fine. He'll probably just, wear it now for a few weeks while the weather's still a bit, unpredictable, and then it can go away and it will still fit him like autumn, winter time. But it was like, it fits him now just barely. So that was a bit of a shame, but it does fit his little brother. So he will get a bit of wear out of it now, and then hopefully, assuming he doesn't grow a lot, it will fit him autumn, winter this year. So, oh well, doesn't matter. It'll fit a child, it'll still get the same amount of wear that it was going to get originally, but yeah, never mind. Just always listen to gauge. So yeah, I'll pop a picture of that in. It's like covered in yogurt at the moment and needs to go and be washed. So I haven't got it here to show you, but yeah, it really suits Rory. So I'm not that disappointed that it doesn't fit Aiden, but it did mean that I needed to cast on something else for Aiden. So that will be coming up later in the episode. I will show you what I'm working on for him. But we've still got quite a few more finished objects. I'm going to stick with the sweater theme. I have finished another sweater since we spoke. I cast on and knit an entire sweater. It is a teeny tiny sweater for a bear. This is the bear, or this is an example of the bear. A few years ago, when Aiden had not long been born, I decided that I wanted to knit toys for him and a couple of my friends who had babies in similar sort of time. So for Christmas, for their first Christmases, I made these little bears, and I can't find the pattern, unfortunately. I have had people ask me what the pattern was and I can't find it. But if you recognise this bear, have you seen this bear and you know what the pattern is, then please get in touch, because I'd like to knit another one for Rory. His nose is a bit wonky because I didn't used to suck on it. But anyway, so Aiden played with his bear when he was little, but he's lost interest in it in the intervening years. One of the other children, I don't know if she was ever interested in her bear, but then last week I got a message from the parent of the other child saying that he still played with his bear, basically. That, sent a picture through of him with his bear and they were reading together, which was very sweet. And I thought, well, my original plan had been to make clothes for the bears as well, for birthdays and Christmas presents, that their bears would get little outfits. and that never happened. Just Aiden lost interest in his bear and I just didn't see the point. So life got too busy to make tiny clothes, and but then I was just so excited to see that that this bear was still so loved that I thought, well, I have to make some little bear clothes. So here is the first. I'm going to be making more. I'm going to be making more because Rory has taken a liking to bear, and so Rory will probably inherit this bear, which means that Aiden will inevitably want it back. So I will have to find something else that I can make for Rory. But yeah, this little sweater is just a I just kind of made it up. I had a look at yeah, I looked at a pattern. I picked up some knitting books from the library, and one of them had a little mouse in and some clothes for the mouse, and I think I might make these mice for the boys, which might fulfill the bear need. But they were knit from the bottom up, and I didn't want to do it that way. I wanted to do a little top down raglan for the bear. You see the raglan shaping. So basically just cast on the number of stitches I thought I needed to get over his head, and then I looked at the Black Slite pattern by Tin Can Knits just to figure out where she starts the round, and when you're knitting that sweater where the markers for the raglan shaping go. And then I knit a few rounds of raglan shaping, enough that I could get a bit of a like stitch count per inch, and then I measured the little teddy's chest and figured out how many stitches I needed, and then rounded it up, and then yeah, just kind of again referred back to I think I just referred to the Tin Can Knits pattern at the beginning to see sort of roughly how many stitches she uses for the for the arms and the body, sort of what proportions of the total number of stitches she uses. So that's what I did, and then I just knit it until I just kept referring to the bear, referring to the sizes that I had taken, and you know, increased the number of stitches I needed to get to the right number, and it fits perfectly. Oh, I need to sew the ends in still, but I will show you. And it was so much fun to knit, and it took me like less than a day to make it. I cast it on in the evening of one day, and then it was finished by the next day, I think, pretty much. I didn't work on it exclusively, but yeah, I could probably whip one up in a day. Excuse all the ends, but there we go. It's an excellent fit. So I wanted to sort of sew some little trousers, but I don't know if I'm going to have time before I next see the child whose bear it is. So yeah, I might knit a little hat though, but I don't know what to do about his ears. My husband was like, he needs a sun hat and a like winter beanie. But I don't know if that's gonna happen. We'll see. I'd like to knit a hat of some kind, but yeah, so there we go. Very pleased with how it turned out. I just need to, like I say, sew the ends in, and then I might just give it a little sort of steam block. But it's pretty, I mean, it's for a bear, right? So it's not. Anyway, so that's that one. And then what next? Then I finished, I don't know if I showed you these at all. I started making myself some yoga socks. I have gotten into yoga recently, and yeah, these were pretty quick. Finished those up. I wasn't knitting on them exclusively, and then I injured my foot, so the need for them was less like urgent. So but yeah, so I have those. That's my own pattern. I might write it up and share it at some point. I'm not going to be able to put this sock on because it's too small. Yeah, I might write up the yoga sock pattern at some point and share that, because it's super easy and quite fun little thing to do. Yep. If you're not sure what yoga socks are for, they don't have a heel and they don't have a toe, and it basically helps just to sort of keep your foot warm while you're yogaing, but then you still have your heel and your toes for like gripping, grounding into the mat. So there is those, and the yarn I used for this was my hand-dyed yarn in my Fruit Loops colourway, and I'm excited. I have a bit more of this left, so I've got a little idea of something else I'm going to do with the remains of that yarn. I've had a pair of socks, full regular socks, out of the contrasting colour along with the main colour, and then a pair of yoga socks, and I'm hoping to make a pair of baby socks for somebody out of that as well. And then the next thing I have finished, I feel like it's been a very productive knitting time. I finished these socks, which I don't know if I showed these to you. This is the Mandy's Making Share a Pair from last year. It was called Easter Basket. So there we are. I was knitting them for myself, but I usually cast on over 2 needles to give myself a little bit of extra stretch. I really like the fit of a 64 stitch cast on, but the on 2.25mm needles, but the cast on is just a little bit tight. So I usually cast on over 2 needles, and that just loosens up those top stitches a little bit, just enough, but not so much that I'm getting like a big flare at the top. And I forgot to do that when I was casting these on. So I asked my mum if they would fit her and if they were something that she would like, and she said that she would like them, and she tried them on and they fit her, so I just finished them up for her. I have like inverted the colours. I did that because I wanted to have like equal amounts of the yarns left over, because I might, if I've got enough, I'm going to weigh these and weigh the balls and see if I think I'll have enough to try again knitting myself a little pair, because they're really pretty. So that's those. Put those up there as well. And then lastly, in the completely entirely finished category, is another pair of socks, and these are my first socks for summer sock camp. Go. Just a plain vanilla sock with a Fish Lips Kiss heel, 64 stitch cast on, on 2.25mm needles, just my standard go-to, I keep it in my brain, I don't need to look it up kind of pattern. And the yarn is Opal Beauty, and I did have the tag, but it's gone missing, and I can't even blame my children because they're not here. It was right there. It's gone now. Gone forever. But yeah, it's from their beauty range, and I just think it is so pretty. It's so fun. I used to knit a lot of very dark coloured socks, and I don't understand why. And now I'm just excited that I have finally embraced the colourful sock. So yeah, I'm excited to wear these. It's a miserable day outside. Now that I have shown them to you, I'm going to put them on. So when we're done, these are going on my feet. And then I don't know if I showed this to you, so I'll show you again if I had shown it to you. I finished one of my heel toe do-si-do socks, West Yorkshire Spinners Rum Paradise colourway. So yeah, I am going to be knitting some whips during sock camp as well, and just accepting that they are not eligible for sock camp. But yeah, it's not why I'm taking part. I'm taking part because I like knitting socks. Yeah, so I'm going to be picking those back up again and casting those on today, and hopefully I can make good progress on those. I will also be casting on this. It's very Christmassy, I know. But this is the Homespun House Christmas at Hogwarts 2021 Soft Sock DK sock set. I had kind of said earlier in the year that I always wanted to have a DK pair of socks on the go, and also possibly always a Christmas pair of socks. I can get away with, on cooler days in the UK, I can get away with wearing a pair of hand knit socks, even in the summer months. When it's like height of summer, sandals all the way. But, you know, I wear trainers a lot, so I will usually wear a pair of hand knit socks in my trainers. But I couldn't wear a pair of DK socks, they would be too warm. So what I am doing is enjoying making myself a little stash of socks so that when the weather gets cold, I have brand new socks to wear that were made specifically for the colder months. So I already have a pair upstairs that are finished, that are Christmas socks. I'm going to knit myself another pair of Christmas socks, and then I know I have a Halloween sock set that I'm going to knit up as well, so I can have those around Halloween. So these will count for sock camp, and they will be vanilla socks, so it will be a really mindless knit for in the evenings, because I've got the heel toe do-si-do, which are for times when I need to when I can pay a little bit more attention. It can get quite easy to do as you get into it, but I do need to pay a little bit of attention with that one. And then I also cast on what day is it today? Cast them on Saturday, these as well. I've never really knit patterned socks in this sense, you know. I've knit or like lace socks. These I guess could fall into lace socks because they've got yarn overs in them. Yeah, the only other sort of heavily patterned sock I've knit is the monkey sock by Cookie A. And then usually I just knit either plain or like a rib variation, you know, textured rather than like patterned. So this is new territory for me, and I've never knit anything that doesn't have like a rib at the top. So this is going to be really interesting to see how this turns out. This is the Lenore pattern by Stephanie Pearl McPhee, also known as the Yarn Holland. I really liked them, and yeah, I thought that they would be quite a fun challenge for sock camp. I'm using this very pretty yarn. It's not coming through at all like it is. It's kind of like that's a bit better. It's a lot more variegated than I thought it was going to be. I thought when it was in the skein, it looked very black, with like almost like just small sort of splodges, not speckled, but splodges of colour. But it's there is a lot more variation, but I think it's going to look really pretty. And this is it's called Shuck. It's by Noodle Soup. Yeah, so Noodle Soup. This is from their Myths and Legends series, and collection is probably the more appropriate word. I've got something in my eye. It's driving me mad. It did come with a very red mini skein, but I won't use that for this. I'll use that in something else. But this colourway was just perfect for this pattern, I think. So I'll put the red aside and use that in something else, I'm sure. But yes, I'm really enjoying knitting those. It has been a challenge. So yeah. Oh, and then almost forgot to show you the consolation jumper that Aidan is getting, although I think he'll probably, if I asked him, he would probably have preferred this one to start with. I am knitting this Thomas the Tank Engine sweater, but I'm knitting like this version where it's like dark blue, because yellow was just a bit for me. This is probably going to be a Christmas present because it's just a bit slow going, but yeah, I've got This is the back. I'm knitting it on straight needles, which I cannot remember the last time I knit on straight needles, and it feels so weird and really like out of control. The needle's like wobbling around everywhere. Yeah. So knitting stockinette on straight needles is not my favourite thing. The other thing I've got to show you is some acquisitions. This is exciting, pretty wool. I got this on sale at, my local yarn shop. It is Rowan Cashmere Tweed. It's very pretty, very squishy, and very small balls, 25 gram balls. But yeah, it was on sale, and I saw it a few weeks ago, and as soon as I saw it, I immediately thought of making a Weekender by Andrea Mowry. I think it's by Andrea Mowry. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I thought about making the Weekender, but it's not the right weight, and I don't think I would have enough. So I left it because I had self-control on that day, clearly. And then I went back in with my mum. I really need to learn not to go to a yarn shop with my mum because she is an enabler, and she basically is just like, oh, well, buy it now and think about what you're going to make with it later. So I came away with two. I think if it had just been this bag, I probably would have left it, because I don't think that there's not enough in here really for me to get a sweater out of it. But then when I spotted that they had the red and actually these two colours look very nice together, that's what did me in. So I bought them, and I'm gonna do some kind of striped, I think, sweater. It will go into my stash, and it may come out again at some point, who knows. And then the other thing that I got is this book, Shetland, by Marie Wallin. And I've not looked at this book before, but somebody that I follow on Instagram is moving house, and she's doing a de-stash of things, and this was one of the things that she was de-stashing, and I just said, yes please. So yeah, there's some nice things in here. I am just flicking through it for the first time, but there are some really, really nice things like that. So yeah, maybe I'll find something in here that I can use my tweedy yarn for. But anyway, I just really liked the look of the front cover. I was definitely attracted to this like Fair Isle on the front, and I've never really done anything like that Fair Isle before. I've done an Icelandic sweater, which had multiple colours, but I've never done like a really detailed kind of Fair Isle before, and I kind of feel like maybe I'm ready to try something like that. So we'll see, but it'll be nice to flick through it. I've not had a new knitting book for a while, and yeah, I think that is everything. It's probably enough if it's not everything. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I will leave links to everything you might want to look at down below, including a link to my blog. I have started blogging again in between podcasting, and it's a different kind of blogging. I'm not blogging things that I would podcast. It's more sort of story type stuff. There's going to be a little bit of like whip chat and like finished object chat on there, but probably not as like detailed. It's more stories, but it is about knitting and craft. So if that's interesting to you, then check that out. There's a link down below. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!